Hello, how are you? Let me introduce myself to you again. I am Lily, your roommate. I know you know me already, but this time is different. I was wrong long time ago. I wasn't just wronged, I was wronged in a way that cannot be fixed way before I could understand what is it that was taken away from me. By someone I trusted, not just me alone, by my parents also. I didn't quite heal, I just changed the place and thought it was going to automatically heal me. It was not your fault, but you should have at least told me that you are carrying this heavy burden alone. I should have helped you.
But here today, now, I am not asking for your sympathy or pity. I admit I was wrong. I made my own decision to turn my pain into a weapon. I should have healed instead of hurting the innocent people, all in the name of revenge.
She was 17 when her trust was broken. She was infected before she even understood what she had lost. But years later, she made a choice. If the world hurt her, she would hurt it back. They called her heartless. She called it justice. Until the day her own body began to collapse, and the fire she lit came back for her. Tonight's story will make you uncomfortable. It will make you angry. And it will force you to answer one question. Does pain give you permission to destroy others? In Rivertown, people believed the river could hear secrets. They said if you stood by its edge at midnight and whispered your sorrow into the wind, the river would carry it away, washing your pain downstream where no one could find it. But the river also had another reputation. It kept what it could not cleanse. And on one particular night, under a moon too bright for comfort, the river kept a secret that would poison many lives. Her name was Lily. Before the silence, before the bitterness, before the coldness in her eyes, Lily was sunshine walking on 2 feet. She was 17 that year. Her laughter could be heard before she turned the corner. Children followed her like birds following a farmer scattering grain. Even the elders smiled when she greeted them.
Hello,
Good
elders.
evening,
A
Mr.
beautiful
Samuel.
day.
Welcome, child.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Turner. She spoke with respect, moved with grace, and dreamed loudly about the future. She wanted to study literature at Westbrook University one day. She wanted to leave Rivertown and come back as Miss Lily, the lecturer. She wanted her parents to sit in the front row at her graduation. Her father used to say, "That
My girl
will
can light up any room
city
she walks in."
enters." He did
Thank
not
you,
know how
Father.
true that statement would become. But light attracts moths, and not every moth is harmless. Daniel was not from Rivertown originally. He came from Stonebridge City, claiming he had family roots in the area. He was older than Lily by 7 years, old enough to appear wise, young enough to seem relatable. He volunteered at the community library. He tutored students. He helped elders carry heavy loads. He greeted everyone politely. And most importantly, Lily's parents trusted him. When he first began helping Lily with her school assignments, her mother felt relieved. "It is good for her to have guidance," she said. Her father nodded. Daniel had a calm voice, soft eyes, a reassuring smile. He never rushed, never shouted, never disrespected. That is how predators survive in peaceful towns. They blend. It did not happen in one moment. It happened in pieces, small comments. "You are different from other girls. You are mature. You understand things others don't." He would buy her notebooks, encourage her dreams, listen when she spoke about her fears. And Lily, innocent Lily, mistook attention for love. He created secrets. Our conversations are special.
Our conversations
Not
are
everyone would
special.
understand.
Not everyone will understand.
That is
I know.
how isolation begins. One evening after tutoring, as the sun dipped low and painted Rivertown orange, Daniel walked her home. "You trust me, don't you?" he asked softly. "Of course," she replied without hesitation. Trust should be earned carefully. But Lily gave hers freely, because no one had taught her that sometimes danger smiles. It was a festival night in Rivertown. Music filled the air, drums echoed, people danced near the marketplace. Lily's parents stayed late at the celebration. Daniel offered to walk Lily home early. "I will make sure she is safe," he assured her
I will
father.
make sure she gets
Her
home
father
safe.
clapped him
I
on
know
the
you will.
shoulder.
I trust you,
I
young
know
man.
you will. Those words would echo in Lily's memory for years. The path home was darker than usual. The moon was high. Crickets sang. The river flowed nearby. And
I
somewhere
trust you
along
completely.
that
It feels
path,
so right being here
our
with you.
I
trust
feel the same
died.
way. You mean everything
No
to
one
me.
It's getting
heard her
cold.
fear. No one saw the struggle in her eyes. The river flowed. The moon watched. And Rivertown celebrated. When Lily reached home later that night, she did not speak. She did not cry loudly. She went to her room and locked the door. Trauma does not always scream. Sometimes it freezes. The next morning, her mother noticed the change. "Are you ill?" "I'm tired," Lily replied. Daniel left Rivertown a week later, claiming he had been accepted into an internship in Westbrook City. He did not say goodbye properly. He did not explain. He vanished, and Lily buried everything. She told herself, "It was my fault. I should not have trusted. No one will believe me." Shame is heavier than truth. So she carried it alone. Her laughter faded first, then her brightness. Rivertown noticed. She has become quiet. Perhaps she is growing up. No one asked the right questions, and Lily did not volunteer answers. Months passed. Then the fatigue began. Headaches, fever, strange weakness. Her mother insisted on a hospital visit in Stonebridge City. The clinic smelled of antiseptic and fear. After blood tests and waiting that felt endless, the nurse returned with careful eyes. "There is something we need to discuss." Lily sat frozen. Her mother gripped her hand. The words came softly but cut deeply. "You have tested positive." The room spun. Positive. The nurse continued gently, explaining medication, management, lifelong treatment. Her mother gasped. This must be a mistake. But Lily knew. Her mind went straight to Daniel, the trusted guest, the soft voice, the reassuring smile. Her mother cried that day. Lily did not. Her tears had already dried months ago. Back in Rivertown, Lily moved like a ghost. Her father could not understand. How did this happen? But Lily refused to speak. The town began whispering. "So illness always attracts gossip. She must have been careless. She is
Look
too
at her,
quiet
walking like
these
she owns the
days."
place.
No
Yes,
one
head so high,
suspected
not caring
Daniel.
what we think.
He
She'll
was
learn.
gone. He was respected. He was believed to be good. And Lily was just a girl. Inside her chest something shifted. It was not just pain. It was rage. "Why should I suffer alone?" she thought. "Why should I carry shame while he walks free?" She imagined Daniel laughing somewhere in Westbrook City, living, smiling, untouched by consequence. And something inside her hardened like stone baked under harsh sun. When her acceptance letter to Westbrook University arrived, Lily stared at it for a long time. Westbrook, the same city Daniel had run to. She felt destiny mocking her. Her mother hugged her tightly. "This is your chance for a new beginning." Lily forced a smile. Yes, a new beginning. But not the kind her mother imagined. That night, Lily stood by the river, the same river that had kept her secret. She whispered into the wind, "If the world has poisoned me, I will not drink it alone." The river flowed silently. No thunder struck. No lightning warned her. Sometimes the most dangerous decisions are made in quiet moments. On the morning she left for university, Rivertown gathered to wish her well. "You will make us proud. Do not forget us. Study hard." She nodded politely. Inside, her heart was no longer soft. It was strategic. She had stopped seeing people as people. She now saw choices, weakness, opportunity. Her father hugged her tightly. "Stay good," he whispered. She almost laughed. Stay good? Goodness had not protected her. The bus pulled away. Rivertown grew smaller in the distance, and Lily felt something chilling. She was not running from her pain. She was carrying it like a weapon. Westbrook City did not sleep. It pulsed, it breathed, it swallowed thousands of dreams every year and spit out either greatness or ghosts. When Lily stepped off the bus at Westbrook Central Station, she did not look like a ghost. She looked like possibility, tall, composed, beautiful in a quiet, deliberate way. But inside her chest, something had shifted permanently. Rivertown had taken her innocence. Westbrook would witness her transformation. University Orientation Week was loud. Laughter, music, introductions shouted over microphones, students hugging strangers they had just met.
For classes.
Lily stood in the middle of it all like a calm eye
I want to study
inside a
abroad.
storm. Her roommate, Clara Bennett, was the opposite. Warm, chatty, full of energy. "You look like someone who reads poetry in secret," Clara teased the first night. Lily smiled faintly. "And you look like someone who talks even in her sleep." Clara laughed. "Oh, we're going to get along." They did. But Clara never noticed the medicine bottle Lily kept hidden inside a small wooden box beneath her bed. Every morning before dawn, Lily would wake quietly, swallow her tablets, stare at the ceiling, and whisper, "I am still here." She managed her illness carefully. She learned the clinic schedules in Westbrook. She attended her checkups alone. She made sure no one saw her hospital bracelet. Control gave her comfort. And control was something she had once been robbed of. Never again, she told herself. Never again would she be powerless. It happened during the second month of lectures. A boy named Marcus Hale began sitting next to her in modern literature class. He had easy charm, a confident grin, the type who knew he was attractive but tried not to show it too much. "You always take notes like you're writing a novel," he said one afternoon. "I like details," Lily replied. "I like mysterious girls," he said. That sentence made something flicker behind her eyes. Mysterious. That was safer than vulnerable. They began studying together. Coffee shops, late library sessions, conversations about books and broken families. Marcus leaned in closer with every meeting. And Lily noticed. Of course she noticed. She had learned to read hunger in men's eyes. And for the first time since Rivertown, she felt something else. Power. He liked her. He wanted her. He trusted her. The same way she had once trusted Daniel. A voice inside her whispered, "They always want something." Another voice responded, "Let him." The night it shifted. Westbrook was drenched in rain. Thunder shook the windows of Clara's apartment, but Clara was away visiting her aunt. Marcus
storm is so
stayed
intense
late
tonight.
after a study
It is, but
session.
we're safe here
The
together.
air felt
I know.
heavy,
I'm glad you're here.
charged. "You're different," Marcus said softly. "Different how?" "You don't chase. You don't beg. You don't try to impress anyone." Lily looked at him carefully, and for a moment, just a moment, she considered telling him everything. The illness, the past, the betrayal. But then she remembered lying on the clinic bed in Stonebridge. She remembered Daniel's face. She remembered the whispers in Rivertown. So instead of truth, she chose silence. Marcus leaned closer. "You know," he said gently, "people make their own choices." The sentence struck her like lightning. People make their own choices. The same justification forming in her mind for months. She did not push him away. And that was the night the fire began to spread. After Marcus, there was Ethan. After Ethan, there was Daniel Reed, a different Daniel, ironically. After Daniel Reed, there was Thomas. Not all of them were cruel. Not all of them were arrogant. Some were kind, some genuinely cared. Some wanted relationships. Some wanted nothing serious. But Lily had one rule: never promise forever, never ask questions, never explain. If they did not ask about her health, she would not volunteer. If they chose her without caution, that was their responsibility. So they are adults, she told herself. They have choices. They are not children. They could ask. But deep inside, beneath layers of rationalization, she knew something darker was growing. This was not just about choice, it was about balance. If I was given poison, she would think late at night, then why should the world remain untouched? Her bitterness matured into strategy. She learned how to flirt without attachment, how to appear interested without caring, how to withdraw affection just enough to create obsession. She became skilled, too skilled. By second year, whispers followed her. That's Lily. She's dangerous. She doesn't stay long. She breaks hearts. Some admired her independence. She owes no one anything. Others warned their friends, don't fall for her. But warnings rarely stop desire. Lily's beauty was not loud. It was quiet, measured, controlled. And men mistook her silence for depth. They mistook her guardedness for mystery. Clara began noticing patterns. You never let anyone stay, Clara said one evening. I'm not interested in forever, Lily replied calmly. Why? Because forever doesn't
Why do
exist,
you always pull away
Clara
when someone's
frowned.
trying to love you?
That's not
I don't
true.
know, it's just hard
Lily's
for me.
eyes
That's why
darkened.
nothing lasts.
It is. Months turned into years. Some of the young men Lily had been with began falling ill. A rash here, a fever there, a clinic visit, a diagnosis, whispers again. Some connected the dots, some didn't. One confronted her outside the campus cafe. You knew, he said, voice shaking. Knew what? Lily replied evenly. You knew something. You made your own decisions, she said quietly. The words tasted metallic in her mouth. He stared at her as if seeing a stranger. Who are you? That question followed her home. Who are you? She did not answer it. Instead, she swallowed her medication and stared at the ceiling again. I am surviving, she told herself. But survival does not require destruction, and deep down she knew she was no longer just surviving, she was spreading pain. The situation became more complicated in her final year. A guest lecturer named Professor Andrew Collins began showing interest. Older, married, confident. The kind of man who believed consequences only happened to other people. You're brilliant, he told her after class. You deserve more than boys your age. She saw the wedding ring. She saw the arrogance. She saw an opportunity to prove something, though she wasn't sure what. This time, however, a flicker of doubt appeared. Not because of him, but because of someone she had never met. His wife. She imagined a woman somewhere in Westbrook City making dinner, unaware, trusting, faithful. The image disturbed her, but her bitterness whispered louder. Where were these faithful wives when you were crying alone? The affair was brief, reckless, calculated, and afterward, Lily felt something new. Not satisfaction, not power, just emptiness. It began with exhaustion more severe than before, then abdominal pain, then dizziness so intense she nearly collapsed during a lecture. She ignored it at first. She was used to managing illness. But this was different. The fever climbed dangerously high. One night she woke up soaked in sweat, heart racing, vision blurred. She tried to stand. Her legs failed. The world tilted. And Lily, the girl who had sworn never to be powerless again, collapsed onto the cold apartment floor. When she opened her eyes, she was in Westbrook General Hospital. White lights, beeping machines, blurred voices. A doctor leaned over her. You have contracted a severe infection, he said gravely. It has progressed aggressively. Her body felt like it was burning from inside. For the first time since Rivertown, fear swallowed her whole. Not anger, not bitterness. Fear. What if I die? She whispered. The doctor did not answer directly. We are doing everything we can. In the days that followed, Lily drifted in and out of consciousness, and in those drifting hours her mind replayed faces. Marcus, Ethan, Thomas, the married professor. She saw hospital rooms. She saw wives crying. She saw mothers asking questions. She saw Rivertown whispering. And then she saw herself at 17, crying by the river, alone. She realized something crushing. She had become what she hated, someone who spreads harm and walks away. The realization was heavier than the fever. I didn't want to be this, she whispered into the sterile air. But pain untreated transforms, and she had fed hers for years. Clara sat beside her hospital bed, eyes swollen from crying. "You scared me," Clara said softly. Lily looked smaller somehow, less composed. "Clara," she whispered. "Yes? I have done terrible things." Clara shook her head gently. "Everyone makes mistakes." "No," Lily replied, tears finally forming. "Not like this." For the first time in years, Lily felt the urge not to defend herself, not to justify, not to blame, just to speak. "I was hurt," she said weakly. "And instead of healing, I decided to hurt others." Clara's silence was heavy, but not condemning, just shocked. "I thought if I wasn't the only one suffering, it would feel fair," Lily continued. "And did it?" Clara asked quietly. Lily closed her eyes. "No." That night her condition worsened. Doctors rushed, machines beeped faster, nurses moved urgently. And Lily truly believed she would not see morning. In that fragile space between life and death, she understood something clearly. Revenge had not freed her. It had chained her. If she survived, she would no longer carry silence. If she survived, she would confess. If she survived, she would face whatever came, because death had stripped away her pride, and pride was all that had been protecting her from truth. By dawn, her fever broke, weak, shaken, but alive. And when Clara returned that morning, Lily whispered, "Call the university board." Clara blinked. "Why?" "I need to tell them everything." Outside, Westbrook City continued moving, unaware that a confession was coming, unaware that debates would erupt, unaware that Rivertown's quiet secret would soon become public storm. Thank you. In Westbrook City, news traveled faster than taxis during rush hour. By the time Lily was discharged from Westbrook General Hospital, whispers were already circling. Something had happened, something serious. But no one yet knew that a storm was forming, not of rain, not of thunder, but of truth. Clara sat across from Lily in their apartment, our hands clasped tightly together. "You don't have to do this publicly," Clara said carefully. "You can seek counseling. You can start quietly." Lily looked different now, not just thinner, softer, stripped. "If I stay silent," Lily replied, voice steady but fragile, "then I remain what I have been." "And what have you been?" Clara asked gently. Lily swallowed. "A weapon." Silence filled the room. For years, Lily had justified her actions with the same sentence: "People make their own choices." But lying in that hospital bed, staring at white ceilings and listening to machines decide her fate, she had finally understood something deeper. Choice without truth is not freedom. It is deception. She stood slowly. "I will speak," she said, "and whatever comes after, I will face it." The university board did not expect what happened next. The Student Health Awareness Forum had been scheduled weeks earlier, a routine panel about responsibility, testing, and prevention. No one expected Lily to walk onto that stage. No one expected her to take the microphone. The auditorium was full, students scrolling on their phones, whispers, casual boredom. Then Lily cleared her throat. "My name is Lily Carter," she began. A few heads turned. Some recognized her, some didn't. "I need to tell you something." Her voice did not shake at first. "I was assaulted when I was a teenager by someone I trusted. I was infected with a lifelong illness." The room shifted, phones lowered, eyes lifted. And instead of seeking help, instead of healing, I chose revenge. Now her voice trembled. I told myself that people make their own choices. I told myself that if they did not ask questions, that was their responsibility. A murmur spread through the auditorium. But I knew the truth, she continued. I knew I was hiding something that could harm them, and I let it happen. Gasps. A chair scraped loudly against the floor. I cannot undo what I have done, Lily said, tears finally falling freely. I cannot return health to those I have harmed, but I refuse to hide any more. Silence. Thick, heavy. Then the shouting began. You're evil, someone yelled. How could you? Another voice rose in anger. You destroyed lives. A young woman stood up near the back. What about the man who hurt her? She demanded. Why are we only shouting at her? The room erupted into chaos. Two camps formed instantly. The first voices, the defenders. She was a victim. She was a child when it happened. Where was the system when she needed help? Why didn't anyone protect her? They saw Lily as a product of unhealed trauma, a wounded girl who turned into something hardened by neglect. They demanded justice for the original crime. Find the man who did this. Why does he walk free? Pain is not permission to destroy others. She had access to clinics. She knew what she was doing. She made a choice again and again. They argued that trauma explains behavior. It does not excuse it. She became the same kind of harm she suffered, one student shouted. Then came another wave of opinion. If you sleep with someone without asking about their health, or you are gambling. Responsibility goes both ways. Why didn't anyone protect themselves? These voices were colder, practical, less emotional, but not less controversial. And then there were the quiet ones, the ones who did not shout, the ones who sat frozen. Because they knew they had been with her, and fear gripped their throats. It took only one video upload for Rivertown to learn everything. The clip spread across social media platforms like wildfire in dry grass. Lily's face, her confession, her tears, her name, her illness, her past. Her parents were at home when neighbors began knocking. Her mother's hands trembled as she watched the video. Her father sat down slowly. She was carrying this alone, her mother whispered, voice breaking. Rivertown divided just as Westbrook had. She has shamed us. She was hurt. She should have spoken earlier. Daniel must answer for this. Old men gathered beneath the giant oak tree near the marketplace. Women whispered near the well. Young people debated loudly, and for the first time in years, Daniel's name resurfaced. While debates raged online, another story unfolded quietly in hospital waiting rooms across Westbrook City. A woman named Grace Collins sat in a clinic office, staring at her test results. Her husband, a Professor Andrew Collins, sat beside her, pale, sweating, silent. Grace's world collapsed in silence. She had done nothing wrong. She had trusted, and trust had betrayed her. She did not scream. She did not shout. She simply asked one question. Why? Her husband had no answer that could mend what was broken. Grace was not the only one. Other women, other fiancés, other partners. Some angry, some numb, some devastated beyond words. They had never met Lily. Yet her pain had reached into their homes, like smoke creeping beneath closed doors. As Lily's confession spread, so did the search for Daniel Wright, the man from Stonebridge City. Journalists dug. Former Rivertown neighbors spoke up. A former colleague from Westbrook claimed Daniel had left another institution under unclear circumstances. Patterns began to surface. Lily had not been the only one. The revelation shifted the narrative slightly. Yes, Lily had caused harm. But Daniel had ignited the first flame. He was eventually located in a neighboring city, working under a different company. When confronted by reporters, he denied everything. "She's lying," he said coldly. But the weight of public scrutiny grew. Other women came forward. Stories echoed. And the man once described as kind and respectful began to unravel under investigation. Rivertown elders shook their heads. "The serpent hid well," they said. Lily did not escape accountability. Legal inquiries began. Health authorities contacted those potentially affected. She faced lawsuits, anger, threats, isolation. Some former partners refused to hear her apologies. "I trusted you," Marcus said during one confrontation. "You looked me in the eyes and said nothing." She did not defend herself. "You're right," she said quietly. Thomas wept openly. "I would have chosen differently if I knew." And that sentence pierced her deeply. Choice without truth is manipulation, so she finally understood. Months later, after investigations and public storms, Lily returned to Rivertown. Not in triumph, not in pride, but in humility. She walked slowly to the riverbank, the same place where she had once whispered her vow of revenge. The water flowed as it always had, indifferent, ancient, patient. Her mother joined her. "You cannot change yesterday," her mother said softly. "I know, but you can choose tomorrow." Lily knelt by the river, not to hide, not to curse, but to surrender. "I wanted fairness," she whispered, "but I became unfair." The river moved gently against the shore, as if listening. Lily began volunteering at clinics in both Rivertown and Westbrook City, not as a hero, not as a victim, but as a warning. She spoke to young girls about trust and boundaries. She spoke to young men about responsibility and protection. She spoke to married couples about honesty. She did not soften her story. "I was hurt," she would say, "and instead of healing, I spread hurt." Some forgave her, some never did. Grace Collins once attended one of Lily's talks. Afterward, she approached her quietly. "I do not excuse what you did," Grace said calmly, "but I see your remorse." Lily nodded, tears in her eyes. "I cannot undo your pain." "No," Grace agreed, "but perhaps you can prevent another woman from sitting where I once sat." It was not forgiveness, but it was not hatred either. And sometimes that is the beginning. Years later, elders in Rivertown told this story to children gathered beneath the oak tree. They did not tell it with cruelty. They told it with warning. "There was once a girl who was wounded," they would begin. "She chose to turn her wound into a weapon." They would pause. "And the fire she lit did not only burn others, it burned her too." Then they would conclude, "If you are hurt, seek healing. If you are betrayed, seek justice. But do not become the storm that destroys the village." Moral lessons of the tale. Trauma explains behavior. It does not excuse harm. Revenge multiplies pain. It never balances it. Responsibility belongs to both trust and choice. Silence protects predators. Healing requires courage and community. In Rivertown, the elders say, "A wounded person must seek healing, or they will bleed on those who never cut them." Lily was hurt, deeply, but instead of cleaning her wound, she sharpened it into a blade, and that blade did not only cut strangers, it cut families, marriages, trust. Some people say she was a victim, others say she became a villain. And maybe the hardest truth is this: she was both. So now I ask you, when someone is wounded, how far does their pain excuse their actions? Who carries the greatest blame? The man who started it, the woman who spread it, or the people who never asked questions? Tell me in the comments, do you think Lily deserved forgiveness? And if you enjoyed this powerful African folktale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications, because the next story might test your heart even more.